Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for What Culture Wrestling, and I've got a little story for you. So come gather round, warm the cocoa, and let's get gross. The WWE is a storytelling giant. With their audience of millions, their tales of heroic underdogs, unstoppable heels, and the glorious advances of one Roman Reigns reach across the globe like no other weekly televised program. Yet, as you'd expect, this constant demand for storylines does mean that there's a fair few duff notes in the brown turd soup, just like the writing of that line now. And we are entering into a stage where the storylines are pretty much akin to I will beat you up. No, you shan't. And here is why. Well, you've surely shucky-ducked my quack-quack, so I concede. It's probably about as good as is going on at the moment. Yet this is nothing to the type of shit that they used to try and pull. For today, I'm going to talk to you about an angle that was so ridiculous, so over the top, so utterly offensive that the WWE never aired it. But they came pretty damn close. To give you some context, let's take a look at some of the lowest moments of creativity within the company, the moments that riled up fans and talent alike, and then keep in mind that the tale I will tell you after is somehow even worse. First, in 2006, they milked the cow dry with the death of Eddie Guerrero, turning what could have been just a touching nod with Rey Mysterio's title run into something awful. They first suggested that his ghost had somehow fixed the Royal Rumble for that year, making Rey Mysterio draw number 2, and then things escalated quicker than the big boss man hanging by having Randy Orton scream that Eddie was in hell. Ouch, that was pretty bad. And speaking of death, how can we forget the time in 2003 when Triple H shagged a corpse? Hello, Katie, Vic. Yes, I know what you're probably saying, that we've dug up this corpse more than our fair share, but at least we didn't try and it. I guess at least they didn't drag the coffin around behind a car like they'd done with the Big Show after his dad had recently died. Stellar work there. What about Kurt Angle, who only a few years later set out to fulfill his desire to have bestiality sex by propositioning Charmel in an awful segment that told the world that this was the only type of sex you can have with a black woman? Jesus Christ, that's f***ing bad. Then we had this nasty little inference that Too Cool were beaten up by DOA because they were gay. Not cool. And then we had a scene where Kane raped Lita and became pregnant with his demon seed before losing the baby. Truly, the WWE handled delicate situational matter like this like a claw hammer to the back of the f***ing skull. Booker T was on the receiving end as well of terrible story writing. In his feud with Triple H, where he was told that he was a nappy-haired dancing man, then he lost his rag to riches storyline because Trips didn't want to let go of the strap. And all the while, he did this while saying, being a champion isn't for the likes of people like you. A point that was made abundantly clear when Shawn Michaels kicked him out of the NWO. What a statement. Sorry, Booker, you don't belong. Period. It's not like you had to be a wrestler to be involved in skin-crawling moments in the WWE, as JR had his Bell's palsy mocked simply because Vince wanted a laugh. And then we had the awful moment when Brian Pillman's wife had to speak out just 24 hours after he died because Vince McMahon wanted an interview, basically absolving his company of any blame. That is cold. It makes you feel a little bit sick, doesn't it, that all of these moments were televised. Racism, sexism, mass exploitation, rape, necrophilia, ratings. Which one of these do you think that the WWE was focused on throughout all of this? But there was one angle that Vince McMahon thought was just so unthinkable it could never and should never be done. Well, that's not technically true. It's actually Steph who nixed the idea, meaning it's the one decent thing that she's done for the company that she can actually put her name to. You did not start the women's revolution. On the 2006 McMahon DVD, it was revealed that the patriarch himself had once pitched to Stephanie that he become the on-screen father of her real-life off-screen baby. How this conception, puns I've got them, came about is still up for debate because no one actually knows because it never got past the writer's room. Either Vince and Steph would have consensual sex, or he would force himself on her, or she would just trip and just land on his dick. Either way, it was going to be a baby from the genitals of Vince McMahon. This is an absolutely grotesque image, isn't it? Made even worse by the fact that he insisted on it being in real life. which meant that he would absolutely kayfabe the shit out of it and refer to his grandkid as his son wherever possible, just to chase ratings. It makes you wonder whether the amount of therapy that would be needed to undo all the damage done by this would actually be made up in the revenue that he'd get from it. Probably about a 50-50 split. It's utterly mental, isn't it? So if you find yourself ever thinking in between the monumental Roman Reigns pushes that Vince might be getting on our wavelength, just remember that he once pitched shagging his own daughter. Bizarre. Luckily, and to her credit, Steph took this off the table quicker than Muhammad Hassan was taken out of the company, but not before Vince McMahon tried once more, one more Hail Mary, and pitched that he wouldn't be the dad, but that Shane would be. Luckily, this was cut apart quicker than Enzo Amore merch prices on the WWE store. So there we have it, the bottom line. Incest. And not that Cleaver Beaver weirdness that was going on, real incest. That's the line that the WWE will not cross. But not for a f***ing lot of trying. And that's my take on the worst angle the WWE has never ever written but tried to get off the ground. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, whether or not you disagreed or whether or not you've got even more heinous tales that you'd like to share with the class. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon.
Well done, you made it all the way to the end of the video. Now, I'm not just here to increase our market share with women aged 18 to 35, but to tell you to watch one of these other videos we've made that are probably quite good. So, go on, off you, that one or that one, they're both good. There you go.